Ladies, listen to me carefully. The way you carry yourself determines the way the world carries you. If you want to be treated like a queen, you have to become one first. Because a queen is never chosen, she chooses herself. A queen never waits for someone else to tell her who she is. She knows exactly what she brings to the table, and she doesn't need outside validation to confirm her worth. When a woman understands her own value, she naturally exudes an energy that commands respect, admiration, and love. But the problem is, too many women look to others, society, relationships, friendships, for a sense of identity, and in doing so, they give away their power. The truth is, no one can define your worth except you. If you don't recognize it, you leave it up to the world to decide, and trust me, the world is not always kind. Everything starts with how you see yourself. If you see yourself as just another person trying to fit in, you will be treated that way. But if you walk into every room knowing you are a person of value, people will start to see it too. The energy you carry is what others respond to. Think about it. Have you ever noticed how some women don't have to say much, but when they walk into a room, their presence alone commands attention? It's not about their looks, their clothes, or their status. It's their self-perception. They know who they are, and that certainty creates an undeniable magnetism. When you don't know your worth, you accept things you don't deserve. You tolerate relationships that drain you. You put up with friends who don't support you. You allow people to disrespect you because deep down, you think you have to earn love and validation. But the moment you realize that your worth is not up for negotiation, everything changes. You stop chasing people who don't see your value. You stop explaining yourself to those who never listened in the first place. You stop trying to prove yourself to people who were never meant to understand you. And most importantly, you stop settling. Self-worth is not about arrogance. It's not about thinking you are better than others. It's about recognizing your own value and refusing to accept anything less than what aligns with that value. It's about understanding that you are already whole, already enough, and that you don't need to shrink yourself to make others comfortable. The moment you embrace this truth, the way people treat you shifts. Suddenly, men start respecting you more. They start putting in the effort, not because you demand it, but because your energy requires it. They see that you won't accept half-hearted love, so they either rise to meet your standards or they step aside. But knowing your worth is not just about relationships. It affects every part of your life. The way you carry yourself at work, the way you approach your goals, the way you handle challenges, it all comes down to whether you believe you are worthy of success, love, and happiness. A woman who truly knows her worth doesn't beg for opportunities, she creates them. She doesn't wait for someone to give her permission. She takes action. She doesn't let setbacks define her. She learns and moves forward. The most beautiful thing about self-worth is that it radiates outward. When you start to see yourself as valuable, the world starts to see you that way too. People treat you with more respect. They listen when you speak. They value your time, your presence, your energy. Why? Because you value yourself first. And here's the truth. The moment you fully own your worth, life begins to align in ways you never imagined. People will either rise to treat you the way you deserve, or they will fall away. And either way, you win. Because a queen doesn't lower her crown for anyone. She walks with grace, confidence, and certainty, knowing that her worth is not up for debate. Confidence is one of the most powerful forces a person can carry. It's not about arrogance, nor is it about being the loudest in the room. True confidence comes from a deep, unwavering belief in oneself, an inner knowing that no matter what happens, you are enough. It radiates through your presence, the way you speak, the way you move, and the way you handle challenges. Confidence is what makes people take notice, not because you demand attention, but because your energy naturally draws them in. There is something captivating about a woman who walks with certainty. She doesn't question whether she belongs. She knows she does. She doesn't seek approval. She validates herself. When she speaks, her words carry weight because they are spoken with conviction. People listen, not just to what she says, but to how she says it. Her voice is steady, her posture is upright, and her eyes meet others with quiet assurance. This kind of presence is magnetic because it signals to the world that she believes in herself. And when someone believes in themselves, others start believing in them too. Confidence is not about perfection. It is not about having all the answers or never making mistakes. In fact, the most confident people are those who are not afraid to be seen as imperfect. They understand that mistakes don't define them. Their response to those mistakes does. When a confident person fails, they don't crumble. They acknowledge what went wrong, learn from it, and move forward with even more wisdom. This resilience is what makes confidence so powerful. It is not shaken by temporary setbacks, nor is it dependent on external validation. Many people misunderstand confidence, thinking it's something you either have or you don't. But confidence is built. It is a muscle that grows stronger every time you step outside your comfort zone, every time you face a fear, every time you choose courage over doubt. The more you prove to yourself that you can handle challenges, the more confidence becomes a natural part of you. It's like a fire that starts as a small spark but grows into an unstoppable force the more you fuel it. One of the key aspects of confidence is self-trust. A woman who trusts herself is not easily swayed by opinions or outside influences. She doesn't constantly seek reassurance because she knows that her own voice, her own intuition is enough. When she makes a decision, she stands by it. When she walks into a room, she doesn't second-guess herself. She understands that she is capable, that she has value, and that she belongs wherever she chooses to be. This certainty is what makes her presence undeniable. Men in particular are drawn to confident women because confidence signals security. A woman who is secure in herself does not chase, she attracts. She does not beg for attention, she commands it effortlessly. She does not settle for less because she knows what she deserves. This kind of woman is a challenge, not in a manipulative way, but in a way that inspires. She sets a standard, and in doing so, she encourages others to rise to meet it. The beauty of confidence is that it transcends appearance. It's not about what you wear or how conventionally attractive you are. It's about how you carry yourself. You could walk into a room in the simplest outfit, but if you wear it with confidence, people will take notice. You could speak softly, but if you speak with conviction, people will listen. Confidence cannot be ignored because it is felt, not just seen. And the best part, confidence is contagious. When you step into your power, you give others permission to do the same. You inspire other women to believe in themselves, to walk taller, to speak with more certainty. You show the world what is possible when a woman truly owns who she is, and in doing so, you become magnetic, not because you seek attention, but because your energy demands it, without a single word. Emotional intelligence is one of the most powerful traits a person can develop. It is the ability to recognize, understand, and manage your own emotions while also being aware of and responding to the emotions of others in a healthy way. It is not about suppressing feelings or pretending that challenges do not exist. Instead, it is about mastering the art of response over reaction, making thoughtful choices instead of impulsive ones, and maintaining control over emotions rather than allowing them to control you. People who lack emotional intelligence often react immediately to situations without thinking. They let frustration, anger, or hurt dictate their actions, and as a result, they end up making decisions that they later regret. Reactivity is driven by emotion, not logic, which is why it often leads to unnecessary conflict, misunderstandings, and strained relationships. When someone is quick to react without processing their emotions first, they give away their power. They let external circumstances dictate their mood, behavior, and ultimately their life. A person with emotional intelligence, on the other hand, understands that emotions are temporary. Instead of making impulsive decisions based on how they feel in the moment, they take a step back, assess the situation, and respond in a way that aligns with their values. They know that not every problem requires an immediate reaction, and that sometimes the best response is no response at all. They are not easily provoked because they are secure in themselves and do not let external factors shake their inner stability. One of the key elements of emotional intelligence is self-awareness. It is the ability to recognize your emotions as they arise and understand why you are feeling a certain way. When you are self-aware, you do not let emotions cloud your judgment. Instead, you acknowledge them, process them, and choose your response wisely. This level of control allows you to navigate difficult situations with grace and maturity, making you someone that others respect and admire. Another crucial aspect of emotional intelligence is self-regulation. This means having the ability to control emotional impulses rather than letting them dictate your actions. It does not mean ignoring emotions, but rather channeling them productively. For example, if someone says something disrespectful, a reactive person might lash out immediately, escalating the situation. But someone with emotional intelligence would pause, take a breath, and respond in a way that maintains their dignity and composure. They understand that their response is a reflection of who they are, not who the other person is. Empathy is also a major component of emotional intelligence. People who are emotionally intelligent are able to put themselves in others' shoes and see situations from different perspectives. They understand that not everything is personal and that people's actions are often a reflection of their own internal struggles. Instead of reacting with anger or defensiveness, they approach conflicts with understanding and patience. This ability to read emotions and respond with emotional maturity makes them excellent communicators, leaders, and partners. Emotional intelligence also strengthens relationships. Whether in friendships, romantic relationships, or professional settings, people are drawn to those who can handle emotions with wisdom and grace. No one wants to be around someone who is constantly overreacting, getting offended easily, or letting their emotions dictate their actions. Instead, people respect and appreciate those who can stay calm under pressure, express themselves clearly, and handle conflicts maturely. Mastering emotional intelligence does not mean suppressing emotions or becoming robotic. It simply means developing the discipline to manage emotions in a way that serves your best interests. It means knowing when to speak and when to stay silent, when to engage and when to walk away, and when to fight for something and when to let it go. The more you develop this skill, the more control you gain over your life, and the more people begin to see you as someone who is truly in command of their own destiny. Independence is one of the most powerful traits a person can possess. It is the ability to stand on your own, make decisions with confidence, and move through life without constantly relying on others for validation or support. Independence is not about isolating yourself or rejecting help when needed. It is about having the strength to know that you are capable of handling whatever comes your way. People naturally respect those who are self-sufficient because independence signals strength, resilience, and an unshakable sense of self. A person who is truly independent does not wait for permission to go after what they want. They do not let fear hold them back, nor do they expect someone else to come and rescue them from challenges. They take full responsibility for their own life, understanding that no one is coming to build their dreams for them. This kind of mindset commands respect because it shows that they are in control of their destiny, not a victim of circumstance. When you rely too much on others to tell you what to do, how to feel, or what choices to make, you give away your power. Independence is about taking that power back. Financial independence is one of the key elements of true self-sufficiency. When you can support yourself, you are no longer at the mercy of anyone else's decisions. You do not have to tolerate toxic environments, unhealthy relationships, or unfulfilling jobs just because you need someone to take care of you. People respect those who stand on their own 2 feet, not because they are trying to prove something, but because they have built a life where they are free to make choices based on what is best for them. Emotional independence is just as important. When you are emotionally independent, you do not need constant validation from others to feel worthy. You do not base your happiness on whether someone approves of you, loves you, or praises you. You understand that your value is not tied to how others perceive you. This kind of emotional strength is rare, and it is exactly why it is so respected. People gravitate toward those who are secure in themselves because that energy is magnetic. When you do not need others to fill a void in your life, relationships become healthier, friendships become more meaningful, and connections are built on genuine mutual respect rather than dependency. Mental independence is the ability to think for yourself. It is about forming your own opinions rather than simply adopting the beliefs of those around you. Independent thinkers are not easily manipulated or influenced by social pressure. They question things, seek knowledge, and make decisions based on their own reasoning rather than blindly following what they are told. This ability to stand firm in your beliefs, even when others disagree, earns respect. People admire those who have the courage to think independently, speak their truth, and not conform just to fit in. Time independence is another important aspect. The more control you have over your time, the more respect you command. People who are constantly at the mercy of others' schedules, who feel trapped in routines they do not want, or who always say yes out of obligation, often find themselves exhausted and resentful. But those who value their time and set boundaries earn the respect of others. When you show that your time is precious and that you will not waste it on things that do not serve your growth, people begin to see you as someone who is truly in charge of their own life. Independence does not mean you never ask for help or that you reject meaningful connections. It simply means you are whole on your own. You do not fear solitude because you are at peace with yourself. You do not chase approval because you already know your worth. You do not settle for less because you know what you bring to the table. And when you embody this mindset, the world responds. People start to admire your strength, respect your boundaries, and see you as someone who is truly in control of their life. Having standards is a reflection of self-respect, self-worth, and self-awareness. It is the ability to set boundaries, make choices that align with your values, and refuse to settle for anything that does not serve your highest good. Desperation, on the other hand, is the opposite. It is the act of lowering expectations out of fear, loneliness, or the need for external validation. People are naturally drawn to those who hold themselves to a higher standard because it signals confidence, strength, and self-assurance. When you choose standards over desperation, you set the tone for how others will treat you. Desperation often comes from a place of scarcity. It convinces you that if you do not accept what is being offered, you may not get another chance. It makes you ignore red flags, tolerate disrespect, or settle for less than you deserve just to avoid being alone. But the truth is, when you lower your standards, you do not gain anything. You lose. You lose your dignity, your peace, and eventually your happiness. People can sense desperation, and rather than making them value you more, it often has the opposite effect. It creates an imbalance where others feel they can take advantage of your willingness to accept anything just to feel wanted. Having standards means you do not entertain what does not align with your values. It means you know your worth and refuse to compromise it for temporary validation. A person with high standards does not chase people, beg for attention, or tolerate behavior that makes them feel unappreciated. They walk away from situations that do not honor their boundaries because they understand that being alone is far better than being in the wrong company. This level of self-assurance commands respect because it shows that they are not easily swayed by emotions or external pressures. When you have standards, you create a filter that separates what is meant for you from what is not. You no longer say yes out of fear or obligation. You say yes because it genuinely aligns with who you are. You do not entertain relationships, friendships, or opportunities that drain your energy or make you feel small. Instead, you invest your time and emotions in places where they are valued and reciprocated. This kind of mindset not only protects your well-being, but also attracts people who respect and appreciate you for who you truly are. Confidence is a key part of maintaining high standards. When you truly believe in yourself, you do not feel the need to compromise just to keep someone around. You understand that your presence is valuable, and you are not afraid to let go of anything that does not meet your expectations. This does not mean being unreasonable or having unrealistic demands. It means knowing what you bring to the table and expecting the same level of effort and respect in return. People who operate from desperation often try to prove their worth, overextend themselves, and give too much too soon, hoping that their efforts will make others appreciate them. But true value is not in how much you give. It is in how much you respect yourself enough to not give away your energy to those who do not deserve it. The moment you decide to prioritize standards over desperation, everything changes. You no longer feel the need to beg for attention, force relationships, or compromise your happiness for the sake of someone else's approval. You start to attract people and opportunities that match your energy simply because you are no longer settling for anything less. And the most empowering part? You realize that the right people, the ones who truly see and appreciate you, will always rise to meet your standards. You never have to lower them to be loved, valued, or respected. Feminine energy is a powerful force that is often misunderstood. It is not about weakness or passivity. Rather, it is about grace, intuition, resilience, and inner strength. It is the ability to be soft yet unbreakable, nurturing yet firm, and gentle yet deeply powerful. In a world that often equates strength with aggression or dominance, true feminine strength lies in its ability to create, heal, and transform situations through wisdom and emotional intelligence. One of the greatest aspects of feminine energy is intuition. Women who are deeply connected to their feminine side have an innate ability to sense things before they happen, to read people beyond their words, and to trust their inner knowing even when there is no logical explanation. This ability to listen to their intuition helps them navigate life with confidence and clarity.